Good morning, students.
Good
In last class, I have explained about Bragg's law and Mosley law and also importance of Mosley law. So in this class, I am explain about Bragg's spectrometer. So this is very important for the examination. So before that, why we have to study the Bragg's law or the importance of the Bragg's law. So the Bragg's law is very used for measuring the wavelength and also for determining the lattice constant, lattice spacing of the crystal. So why we need to study the Bragg's law? The Bragg's law is very useful for measuring the wavelength. We have to study the Bragg's law because it is very useful for measuring the wavelength. It is useful for measuring the wavelength and for determining the and for determining the lattice spacing, lattice spacing of crystals. So Bragg's law is very useful for measuring the wavelength and also for determining the lattice spacing of the crystals. To measure the particular wavelength, the radiation beam and the detector are both set up at some arbitrary angle theta. This is the principle. We have to make the precise the energy measurement of the X-rays and low energy gamma rays. So Bragg's law is very important while in determining the wavelength and also the lattice spacing of the crystal. So this is the importance. The next is Bragg's X-ray spectrometer. This is very important for exam. In the examination, this question will be asked for 8 marks. Explain the construction and working of the X-ray spectrometer. So this is very important. So this Bragg's X-ray spectrometer, it is working on the principle of Bragg's law. So this Bragg's spectrometer is working on the principle of the Bragg's law. It consists of mainly three parts. The one is source of X-rays. It consists of three main parts. So this Bragg spectrometer consists three main parts. The first one is source of X-rays. We need source of X-rays. And the second very important thing is a circular table. Hemant, Girish. Second one is a circular table for keeping the crystal. For it is used for keeping the crystal. For which crystal we have to study, that crystal should be keep on this circular table. Keeping the crystal. Provided it is provided with it contains the vernier scale also. This table connected with the vernier. The third important part we need is a detector. A detector, that means it should be a ionization chamber. Ionization chamber. So to construct the Bragg spectrometer, it contains three important main parts. The three important main parts are, which are those? One is source of X-rays. We need source of X-rays to produce X-rays. The second one is we need the circular table for keeping the crystal. For which crystal you have to study, that crystal should be keep on the circular table, and also this table will be connected with the vernier scale. So it has the vernier scale on it. And the third very important thing we need is a detector. That is, it should be ionization chamber. ionization chamber. So we need these three important parts to construct the Bragg spectrometer. On what principle the Bragg spectrometer will be work? The Bragg spectrometer will be work on the principle of Bragg's law. What is Bragg's law? 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. We know that 2d sin theta should be equal to n lambda. This is the Bragg's law. It should be, this Bragg spectrometer should be work on the principle of this Bragg's law. So let us consider next is construction. This is the first part, the source of X-rays. That means it should be X-ray tube. This is X-ray tube where the X-rays will be produced. This is the circular table. We need the second main part is what? Circular table to keep the crystal on the circular table. And also we know that it should be provided, it should be connected with the vernier scale. It should be connected with the vernier scale. So C means crystal. For which crystal we have to study, that crystal should be keep on the circular table. So this is the circular table T. These are S1 and S2. These two are slits to get the fine X-ray beam. So this is vernier scale. So this is ionization chamber. This is ionization chamber. This part is radial arm. This is radial arm. This is the ionization chamber. This ionization chamber. So why this is the third important thing we need to produce X-ray spectrometer contains to detector or ionization chamber. This ionization chamber should be connected with an electrometer. Ionization chamber should be connected to electrometer to mark the ionization current. To mark the to notice the ionization current, ionization chamber will be connected to the electrometer. So this is the construction of X-ray spectrometer. So to construct X-ray spectrometer, we need three important main things. First one is source of X-rays. and circular table for keeping the crystal, and also is connected with the vernier scale. And the third part is a detector, that is ionization chamber. So this is the diagram of X-ray spectrometer. So this is the source of X-rays. By X-ray tube will be generated the X-rays. So this is the source of X-rays. This is the circular table for keeping the crystal, and it is connected with, this is the vernier scale, and this table will be connected with the radial arm R with the ionization chamber. The third we need is ionization chamber. This ionization chamber is connected to this electrometer. So this is the Bragg's spectrometer. So next, the construction, to explain the construction, we know that the X-ray tube, the X-rays from the X-ray tube after passing these two slits S1 and S2, the X-rays from the X-ray tube after passing the two narrow slits S1 and S2, after that we get the fine narrow beam. After passing through the two slits, we get the fine narrow X-ray beam. This fine narrow X-ray beam, then it falls on this crystal. After passing through the slits, we get the fine X-ray narrow beam. This narrow beam will be falls on this crystal. This crystal which is mounted on the circular table, it is represented by T. The table T can be able to rotate. This table we have to it should be have the capable to rotate about the vertical axis. The table should be rotated, and its position can be determined we using vernier scale. This table should have the capable of rotating about a vertical axis, and this position can be determined by using the vernier scale. This table is provided, this table will be provided with the radial arm. It is represented by R, which has the ionization chamber. Which has the ionization chamber. It is represented by I. The arm can also be able to rotate. This arm can also be able to rotate. This table is also able to rotate, and the arm should also be able to rotate about the same vertical axis of the crystal. And the position of the arm, this position of the arm can also be determined by using this vernier scale. And the ionization chamber should be connected to the electrometer E. This ionization chamber should be connected to the electrometer E to measure the ionization current. To measure the ionization current, electrometer should be connected to the ionization chamber. So the slit, why we use this slit S3 means, the slit S3 limits the width of X-ray beam. This slit S3 limits the width of X-ray beam. So this limits the width of X-ray beam. So when the X-ray will fall on the crystal, when the X-ray will be falls on the crystal, it should be diffracted by the crystal, and the intensity of this diffracted beam of the X-rays can be measured. When the crystal is rotated through an angle theta, the crystal is rotated through an angle theta, then the chamber should turn through an angle 2 theta. So according to the Bragg's law. So this is the construction of the X-ray spectrometer. So what is the construction? To construct the Bragg's spectrometer, we need three main parts. One is source of X-ray, circular table for keeping the crystal. It is also connected with the vernier. And the third one is a detector, that is ionization chamber. So this is the diagram of the Bragg's spectrometer or X-ray spectrometer. So this diagram carry 2 marks. So X-rays are coming from this X-ray tube. Then this X-ray beam will be, after passing through 2 slits S1 and S2, we get the fine narrow beam. This fine beam, after passing through the slit, it falls on this crystal. So the crystal which is mounted on the circular table T, the table can be able to rotate it, and the position of the table can be studied by using the vernier scale. Its position can be determined by using the vernier scale. And the table should be provided with the radial arm R, which as the ionization chamber. The radial arm as the ionization chamber. So ionization chamber represented by I. The arm also can be able to rotate it about the same axis, and the position of the arm can be determined by using this scale. For example, it should be like this. So, and what position the arm will be placed, it should be studied by using this vernier scale. The ionization chamber should be connected to the electrometer. Ionization chamber should be connected to the electrometer. Why we connected electrometer? To measure the ionization current. Electrometer should be connected to the ionization chamber. So the slit S3 is very important. Why we use slit S3? The slit S3 limits the width of X-ray beam. By using the slit S3, this slit S3 limits the width of X-ray beam. Then when the X-ray will be fall on the crystal, we know that when we fall on the crystal, the intensity and it should be diffracted. After falling, X-ray beam will be falling on the crystal, then it is diffracted by the crystal, and the intensity of the diffracted beam of X-rays can be measured. The intensity of the diffracted X-ray beam can be measured. When the crystal will be rotated through an angle theta, then the chamber should also be turned through an angle 2 theta. So this is the construction of Bragg's spectrometer or X-ray spectrometer. Any doubt in this? Importance of Bragg's law and the construction of Bragg's law. Sorry, construction of Bragg's spectrometer. Any doubt in this construction of Bragg's spectrometer? So the next is working.
No, ma'am.
Next is working. Next is working of Bragg's spectrometer. So we already know that the glancing angle theta for the incident beam be kept very small. The glancing angle theta for the incident beam. For the incident beam, the glancing angle theta for the incident beam kept very small. The glancing angle theta for the incident beam should be kept very small. The ionization chamber is adjusted to receive the reflected beam. The ionization chamber is adjusted to receive this reflected beam till the rate of deflection is maximum. The ionization chamber is adjusted to receive this reflected beam till the rate of deflection is maximum. So this ionization chamber is adjusted to receive the reflected beam till the rate of deflection is maximum. Till the rate of deflection is maximum. So the glancing angle theta and the intensity of the diffracted beam are measured. We have to measure the glancing angle theta and the intensity of the diffracted beam. Intensity of the diffracted beam are measured. By rotating the crystal table, the glancing angle theta can be increased in equal steps. When we rotating the crystal table, the glancing angle theta can be increased in equal steps. For each step, the ionization current is noted. ionization current is noted. So this is the intensity of the diffracted beam. If we know that the glancing angle, this is the glancing angle theta and this is the intensity of the diffracted beam. When we rotating the crystal table, the glancing angle theta can be increased in equal steps. For each step, the ionization current will be noted. So when we noted the ionization current, then we plot a graph of between the glancing angle theta versus intensity. If we notify the glancing angle theta, then we draw the graph between the theta and the I is as shown in this figure. So we have to draw. If we plot a graph of glancing angle theta versus intensity, we get the graph is as shown in this figure. The peaks represented by this is A1, A2, A3 and this is B1, B2, B3 and the intensity will be maximum for this theta 1 angle. For the intensity will be maximum for this value theta 2 and the intensity will be maximum for this for theta glancing angle theta 3. So by rotating the glancing angle, by rotating the table, we get the glancing angle will be increased in equal steps. For each theta, ionization current will be obtained. So then we plot a graph of glancing angle versus intensity. We get a graph is shown in this figure. It is also known as X-ray spectrum. This is the X-ray spectrum. So this is the intensity will be maximum for the value of glancing angle theta 1. For this is the intensity will be maximum. So the prominent peaks A1, A2, A3. These are the peaks. Prominent peaks A1, A2, A3 refers to the X-rays of wavelength lambda. Refers to the X-rays of wavelength lambda. Then the glancing angle theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, they will be corresponding to the peaks A1, A2, A3. A1, A2, A3 are obtained from the graph. Then this shows that A1, A2, A3, A1, A2, A3 corresponds to the first, second, third order reflections of the same wavelength. This B1, B2, B3 are corresponding to the first and second, third order reflection for another wavelength. B1, B2 is for the another wavelength. So then if D is known, if the D is known, then the wavelength can be calculated by, if D is known, then the wavelength can be calculated by using the equation 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda, Bragg's law. If we know the value of D, we can easily find out the wavelength of the which crystal we use to wavelength of the X-rays. So we study the wavelength. So this is the working of the X-ray spectrometer or Bragg's spectrometer. So what is the working? The glancing angle theta for the incident beam should be kept very small and the ionization chamber should be adjusted to receive the reflected beam till the rate of deflection will be maximum. And the glancing and notice the glancing angle and the intensity of the diffracted beam. So the glancing angle and theta and intensity will be measured. By rotating the crystal table, the glancing angle theta will be increased in equal steps. For each step, theta will be changes for corresponding ionization current will be noted. If we plot a graph of intensity versus glancing angle, we get the graph is as shown in this figure. The prominent peaks A1, A2, A3 refers to the X-rays of wavelength. The glancing angle theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 corresponding to the peaks A1, A2, A3 are obtained from the graph. This shows that A1, A2, A3 corresponding to the first, second and third order reflection of the same wavelength of these first order, second order, third order. Order will be changed, but the wavelength will be same. The B1, B2, B3 corresponding to the first order, second order, third order, but it is for another wavelength. So these three are first order, second order, third order, but have the same wavelength, but order will be changes. Similarly, B1, B2 are the first order, second order, third order, but it has the another wavelength. This will be corresponds to another wavelength. If we know the value of D, then the wavelength can be calculated by using Bragg's law. We know that this is called as Bragg's law. 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda. So this is the Bragg spectrometer construction, and also this is the working. So any doubt in this construction of Bragg spectrometer and also the working of this Bragg spectrometer? So this is very important for the examination because this question will be asked for 8 marks. Explain the construction and working of the Bragg spectrometer. Any doubt in this construction and working? So next is we have to find the structure of the structure of sodium chloride, NaCl, sodium chloride by using this Bragg's spectrometer. By using the Bragg's spectrometer. So to find the structure of NaCl, using this Bragg spectrometer. We already know that in the working, we know that the glancing angle theta will be incident beam kept very small and the ionization chamber is adjusted to receive the reflected beam. We know that already construction and working of the X-ray spectrometer. This we know that the peaks A1, A2, A3 are corresponding to the glancing angle theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 are the first, second, third order, and we have the same wavelength lambda. So if D is known, we already know if D is known, D will be known. If D is known, then lambda can be calculated by using the equation 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda. If D is known, lambda will be calculated by using this Bragg's law. If the wavelength lambda is known, after that we know the value of lambda. If lambda is known for the, if lambda is the wavelength lambda is known for the first order, the glancing angle theta will be known from this graph. This is the for first order. So if wavelength lambda is known for the first order, the wavelength lambda will be known for the first order, then the glancing angle theta will be known from this graph for the first order. The glancing angle will also be known and theta will be known. Theta is known from the graph. Theta will be known from the graph. Then we already know that D can be calculated already. Then number of atoms per unit cell. Number of atoms per unit cell. N can be calculated by number of atoms per unit cell is represented by N. N is calculated by N into rho AQ divided by M, where N is the Avogadro number, rho is the density, A cube is the volume of that crystal, and M is the molecular weight. Let m is the molecular weight, n is the Avogadro number, and rho is the density. Rho is the density, and a cube is the A represent, we know that A represent the edge of the cell. Rho A cube means it is the cube. Rho is the density and N is the number of atoms per unit cell. So after we know that the value of Avogadro number, rho A cube M, if we substitute and simplify, we get N is equal to 4. We get the N is equal to 4. Then it shows that NaCl structure, NaCl structure is when n is equal to 4, for n is equal to 4, the NaCl structure is face-centered cubic crystal. It is FCC. So, to find the structure of NaCl, how we find the structure of NaCl using Bragg spectrometer? Already I explained that construction and working. In the place of crystal, we place the NaCl crystal. After placing the crystal and explain the construction working, we know that we get the intensity versus the glancing angle. If you know the value of the distance d, and if lambda will be calculated by using the Bragg's law, then lambda will be known. Lambda will be known for the first order. Then theta will be known from the graph for the first order. Then we calculated the number of atoms per unit cell. Number of atoms per unit cell is n. N is given by n rho A cube by m, where n is the Avogadro number, rho is the density, A cube is the volume of the crystal, and m is the molecular weight. Then substitute all these values, we get the n is equal to 4. So therefore, this shows that the sodium chloride or NaCl structure is face-centered cubic crystal. This is FCC. So this is the structure of NaCl using Bragg's spectrometer. So in this type, we find out the structure of any crystal by using the Bragg spectrometer. So in this way, we have to study the structure of NaCl. So this is one example. So next we have to calculate. How we find out the value of D. So if you know the value of D only, we have to find out the value of lambda. Therefore, how we find out D? So calculation of, next is calculation of cell constant A. Cell constant A and interplanar distance D. Interplanar distance D for NaCl crystal. Why? Because we are taking the example as NaCl crystal. Let us consider, let m is the molecular weight of the NaCl crystal and n is the Avogadro number. Then the mass of the each molecule of Na crystal should be equal to, then the mass of each molecule of NaCl sodium chloride crystal is equal to m by n. M by n. M is molecular weight, n is the Avogadro number. Let m is the molecular weight of the sodium chloride crystal and n is the Avogadro number. Then the mass of each molecule of the sodium chloride crystal is equal to m by n. If there are small letter n number of molecules per unit cell, n number of molecules per unit cell. If there are n number of molecules per unit cell, then the mass of the unit cell is given by, then the mass of the unit cell is equal to m by n into small letter n. Take it as this is equation number 1. If small letter n represents the number of molecules per unit cell, then this mass of each, then the mass of the unit cell should be equal to m by n into small letter n. Take it as this is equation number 1. If small letter a represents the edge of the cube and rho is the density, then the mass of the unit cell is equal to, then the mass of the unit cell should be equal to rho into A cube. Take it as this is equation 2. Then the mass of the unit cell. We know that mass should be equal to density into volume. This is mass of the unit cell. Mass should be equal to density into volume. So density is given by rho. Volume should be given by A cube. This is equation 2. From equations 1 and 2. From equations 1 and 2, we get rho A cube should be equal to m by n into small letter n, or A cube should be equal to m by, take just rearranging the terms, n into rho into small letter n, or A should be, therefore A should be equal to mn by n rho whole to the power 1 by 3. That is 1 by 3. So this is very important formula to find out the cell constant A. So let us consider m is the molecular weight of the sodium chloride crystal and n is the Avogadro number. Then the mass of each molecule of the sodium chloride crystal should be equal to m by n. And if small letter n represent the number of molecule per unit cell, then the mass of unit cell should be equal to m by n into small letter n. Take it as this is equation number 1. If A represents the edge of the cube and rho is the density, then the mass of the unit cell, we know that mass should be equal to density into volume. Density is given by rho, volume will be A cube. Therefore, compare equation 1 and 2, we get rho A cube is equal to m by n into n. Just rearranging the terms, A cube is equal to m by n into rho into small n. Therefore, our A should be equal to mn n rho whole to the power 1 by 3. Take cube root. Therefore, we get cube root of mn by n rho. So, this is very important because by using this formula, we can find out the cell constant. We know that what is the density of the sodium chloride? Density of the sodium chloride crystal should be equal to 2180 kg per meter cube. Density of the sodium chloride crystal is 2180 kg per meter cube. What is the molecular weight? Molecular weight of the sodium chloride crystal should be equal to 58.5. And what is the Avogadro number? Avogadro number n is equal to, what is the Avogadro number? 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 or 26. Putting these values in this equation A, we get A should be equal to 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So, we know that M, we know that capital letter n Avogadro number, density. So, what is the value of n? So, already know that A should be given. So, what is n? We know that m molecular weight, Avogadro number, density. So, what is the value of small letter n? To find out this cell constant A, what is the value? We have to substitute n. So, in the last, I have explained n is equal, we get n is equal to 4 for NaCS structure. So, we already obtained n is equal to 4. How we obtained? It is FCC. When the crystal is FCC, for FCC crystal only n is equal to 4. So, therefore, n is equal to 4. N is equal to 4, m, n. After substitute all these values, we get A. But we have to find out interplanar distance. Why? Because if we know the value of D only, we have to find out the lambda. So, how we calculate interplanar distance? We know that D should be given by A by 2. Already we find out A is this. Therefore, interplanar distance is equal to 2.8 into 10 power minus 10 meter. So, if we know the value of D, then we easily find out the wavelength of the X-rays by using this is Bragg's law. If we know the D value only, we can find out the lambda. So we find out interplanar distance by using the formula cell constant A. So this is very important. So to find out the cell constant and interplanar distance of the crystal, what is the first step? Let us consider M is the molecular weight of the sodium chloride crystal, N is the Avogadro number, then the mass of each molecule of the sodium chloride crystal is equal to M by N, and let small letter n represents the number of molecules per unit cell. Then the mass of the unit cell becomes M by N into N. Take it as this is equation number 1. If A is the edge of the cube, then rho is the density. Then the mass of the unit cell is equal to rho into cube. Why? Because mass should be equal to density into volume. Density is rho, volume is A cube. Compare equation 1 and 2. We get rho A cube is equal to M by N by N. Just rearrange the terms. A cube is equal to M by N rho into N. Take cube root. A is equal to Mn by N rho whole power 1 by 3. If we know the value of density of the sodium chloride crystal, molecular weight, Avogadro number, then we have to find out we get the cell constant. Small letter n represents, or it is given by n is equal to 4. Already we are determining by using this NaCl crystal. So for NaCl crystal, we know that this is the face-centered cubic crystal. For FCC, n should be always equal to 4. If we substitute all these values and simplify, we get A is equal to this. So when we know the value of A, then the interplanar distance D can be easily find out. D is equal to A by 2. Substitute A divided by 2. Half means D is equal to 2.8 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Therefore, when we know the value of interplanar distance, then lambda will be easily calculated by using Bragg's law. 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda. So in this way, by using Bragg spectrometer, we have to find out the wavelength, and also we study the structure of many crystals. So this is the importance, or this is the about Bragg spectrometer. Any doubt in this importance of Bragg's law and construction and working of Bragg's law, and how we study the structure of any crystal, how we calculate the cell constant or interplanar distance for crystal? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Construction working of spectrometer? Construction and working of spectrometer, and also how we calculate the cell constant, interplanar distance, and how to study the structure of any crystal. So we are taking one example is NaCl crystal. So in this way we are studying many crystals. Which crystal we have to study? Such crystal should be placed on the spectrometer and study the structure or calculate any cell constant of that crystal and interplanar distance easily. If we know the value of interplanar distance, we have study the wavelength easily. So any doubt in this Bragg spectrometer? This is why, because we are repeated 2 more times, because this is very important for examination. The spectrometer will be asked for 8 marks. State and explain our construction and working of the Bragg spectrometer. So this is very important. Any doubt in this? Girls, boys, any doubt ilva?
No ma'am.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಹಂಗೇನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೀನಿ.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೀ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಅದು ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ನೀವು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ವರ್ಗೂ ಇದ್ರ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಕೇಳೋದು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಅದು ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದ್ 5 to 10 minutes ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುದು ಅಟ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಬರ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ನೀವ್ ಮಧ್ಯ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀರಾ, ಮಧ್ಯ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದು ರೀಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೀರಾ, ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ.
ನಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕು ಇರಲ್ಲ.
ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಬಿಡಿ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನು ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬ್ರಾಕ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಮೀಟರ್ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಏನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಮರೀದೆ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಜೆರಾಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಚಂದು ಬರಿಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಬರೀತೀವಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಯ್ತವ್ರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ.
ಅದ್ ನನ್ಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ.